Everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you to my subscribers and welcome the newcomers. I hope you like what you see, and if so, please do subscribe. If you do subscribe, hit that bell notification to get notified for the new uploads, and give it those thumbs up. It's very important to circulate the video. Thank you for all your comments and all your support. I am very grateful to every single one of you. I hope everybody had a great Easter. Today we're going to create, I've already prepared many squares, all types of colors on the middle, different colors in all of them. This is a special tablecloth that I'm going to create. This is my design and creation. And this is in honor to every single victim of the COVID-19, the coronavirus. So I'm not going to name this tablecloth COVID-19 because I don't want it to be read all the time, constantly as a reminder. But we must not forget about those victims either, and to the families, because they're victims themselves. So this tablecloth is in honor of every single one of them, and every single one of you victims' family that had to go through that kind of horrific, painful losing your loved one. So I'm very sorry for that, and my condolences to every single one of you that have lost a loved one. So this is in honor of them, and it will forever be remembered. This is something to always remember by all the suffering that went on with this horrible virus that's still going on and still killing a lot of people. So we definitely have to be careful with masks and disinfectant and things like that. We have to stay safe and keep everybody around us safe also. So this is to all of you victims, okay? So I have created the link. I will list all the link below once I am done with this tablecloth. It will take a little bit longer because it will be a big one. And I wanted the middle piece to be made out of a pattern. I didn't want it just squares. I wanted to have a middle design for it, for the middle of the table. So this is pretty big. I'm still not sure if I'm doing it for the dining room or the kitchen, because just not long ago, I think 2 weeks ago, I made one for the kitchen table, 4-seater. If I do this one, it's an 8-seater, 6-seater and 8-seater, okay? So I'll see my patience, if I have more patience to create more squares, because it does take very simple to create, obviously, the granny square, but as you can see on each row, there's different colors. So you have to keep cutting the thread, and you have to keep adding more thread, different color, and then cut the thread, and then, okay. So I pretty much prepared my square. I didn't do the last row because obviously the last row is to attach onto the pattern. This is all cotton thread, 4-ply. Needle number 3, you'll need a pair of scissors. And I also like to use a small needle to tuck in loose ends. Now, for some of you that have been following me and doing my patterns, you know that I had a different app, which a lot of you can see, especially for the beginning until up about a month and a half ago. The app that I use, that I didn't know any better, it's a very small screen, so it was very hard to see some of the stitches going on, and I'm very sorry for that. So I finally did a little bit of research and applied a new app to have full screen. But I still have that habit of crocheting very fast, and sometimes it's not comfortable for certain of you that are creating some of my patterns. But it's very, very simple. Up top, there's 3 little buttons. You click on there and you go on the speed you would like. So you can slow down the video. And then, of course, you pause and you stitch, you pause and you stitch. This pattern, like I said, the tutorial's up already. So I'll leave all the links below to the granny square and to the pattern. I'm just going to finish up the middle piece because I didn't finish it up. I wanted to do it when I did the tutorial, finish it up with you guys, so you know how this is all gonna fit in combined with the granny square. So basically, when we started the pattern, we started the first row with just a line of squares, 14 squares. So when you finish a pattern, you obviously have to always finish, no matter what pattern you're doing, you have to finish the same way as you start. So if you have 2 lines, you have to finish with 2 lines. It's the only way that the pattern is going to balance out. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So I have 6 motifs. That's how big it is. Okay, I will leave after, once it's done, I'll leave the size of the tablecloth and how many squares it took and all that. Okay, so we've come to the last part. Okay, we're going to get started on this. So we've come to the last part on it, our last double crochet. For some of you that are creating this centerpiece, then you'll know what I'm talking about. So we have the last stitch. We did the last double crochet. Now I am going to go inside of here, and I'm going to do a single on the last stitch and a chain. I'm going to go back in and I'm going to do a double crochet, another double crochet. So now we have 3 double crochets. Okay, I'm going to do 4th double crochet, the 5th double crochet, and the 6th one is 1 chain and 1 single. So we basically started with a single and a chain. 1, 2, 3, 4 double crochet, a chain, and a single. And this is how it's going to be proceeded all the way around. So into the next space you see here, we're going to do a single crochet. Into the next space where we have the double crochets. Of course my thread had to, tangle up. Okay, so as I was saying, into the next space, we're going to do the same thing. This is just going to be repeatedly all the way around. A single, a chain. We're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 chain, and a single. So we're creating these little paddles because we're going to create the same little paddles on the squares to meet up with these paddles here. Okay, so next space, single, next space, we repeat the same thing, single and 1 chain. You're going to create, and I think I made too much here. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I did. It has to be 6, so it's included. The first single with a chain is considered double crochet. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thought I was seeing it too wide. Another thing, I might have to put this video into 2, 3 videos because the problem with this app, it takes too much memory, and you got the good side of it, you have the full screen, but as far as memory, not good at all. So next space, single, next space, we're going to do a single and a chain, so that's considered double crochet. We're going to do, so that would be double crochet, 2 double crochets already, 3, 4, 5, and the last one is a chain and single. Okay, so we're going to have these little loops all the way around. Next space, single, next space, we create again the same thing. So go ahead and do yours, and I'll do mine until the end, and I'll meet you at the other corner. Okay, so we've reached the corner of our pattern because we're doing the side. So we did the single on our space. We're going into the corner 1, doing a single. We're creating our petal, 1 chain. So double crochet, that would equal 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 chain, and 1 single. And you'd have your corner petal. Now, you come into the middle of the double crochet here where we have the double crochets. We're going to do the single here. Into the next space, we're going to do our single and chain. So we're going to create our petal. Four, 5, 1 chain, and 1 single. Into the next space, single, into the next space, single, and 1 chain. And we continue on. We're going to do this all the way around. And then I'll come back with the granny squares to attach them on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So nothing to it, right? And if you don't want to make a tablecloth, this makes perfect. Just a doily, table runner. You can make curtains out of it. It's very light, like side panel curtains. You know what I'm saying? Go over if you're, depending on the colors you like this is cream. So if you have, let's say, brown or reddish, burgundy curtains, you can have this hanging on the sides of it. Be perfect. Gorgeous. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Something eventually I'll get into also. It's just that there's so much demands and so many different things that I can only get to certain things at once. I think I made a mistake here. I have to do a single there. And also, please, people, always look ahead the video before you create anything, and not just with my video, but anybody else's video, because a mistake can occur. We are human, and we need to go back and fix it. If we're not too far out, we can take it down and restart. If we are far out, we need to work around it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Garfield, the cat must be around. The dogs are going nuts. I call him the Garfield. It's a black cat that comes around all the time and teases the dogs. Crazy like that. Okay, so continue yours until, and then we're going to finish up the rest. So we're coming to the corner here. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to go, and you see that we had to do a space there, right? Make sure I have it all properly done. So we're going to go in the middle here of on the second double crochet. We're going to do a single there. And we're going to go right on the corner on the last double crochet here on the corner and create our petal. And then follow through the same way as we did on the other side. We have to do on this side. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then single. So you know that it always gonna like fall. I didn't grab my thread here properly. Not a good thing. Two, 3, 4, 5, 1 chain and 1 single. So I'm just going to show you what it looks like now. It looks like there's a little bit of a gap here, you see? Let me just check something here. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Only been 9. We need to create another one here. I don't like this big gap here. So what are we going to do? I'm going to push it a little bit. And this is a good way for you guys also to learn how to deal with certain patterns. Sometimes you need to work. So I'm going to create here in the same place where I had it. Just that I'm going to add a little single one in the same place. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, I'm going to put my single on the first on the double crochet here. I think it will be best. Put my single there. I'm going to come into the last space here and create 1. So we can have 10 petals on this side. You know, when you create certain patterns, you're creating, you're not calculating what's going to take and how it's going to, you just go with the flow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I never write down on paper what am I doing or what's next. I go with the flow and I take it from there. I work around the pattern. So back into the middle one here, the second double crochet with a single, and then go into the corner and you're good to go. At least this way we're not leaving a big gap there and it looks funny and weird. We've added them on, so it should be perfect now. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's why it's always important to look ahead the video, because when we need to adjust something, then you know something has been adjusted. If you just continue stitching and go ahead, and then you're going to miss out somewhere. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have 5. I need to do my 6th with a chain and a single. And then I go into the next one. Next one. So you're going to have a total of 6 double crochets per petal. Now, okay, let's see where we at. So this is the corners. We skip the first line here, as you can see, and then we did our petal, which is on this line here, and we have our petal. So it's all going to balance out now. And on the corner to corner, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we got 10. Okay, so finish yours and I'll finish mine, and I'll meet you at the end on this side. Everyone, so I pretty much finished doing all my petals all the way around. And of course I did the same trick here on this edge by doing a single on top of the double crochet and create another petal here in the middle, or else I would have had it done a single here and it wouldn't have the same amount. So I wanted to have 10 petals on this side, same thing as 10 petals on this side. So we created the single on top of the double crochet. Okay, so now we're going to go into the squares. Hopefully we can have the right amount to match up. If not, we have to maneuver a little bit of the stitches in order to fit the right amount of squares in it. Let's say 12 squares, 10 squares. It has to fit exactly the same. So I'm going to grab my cream. I'm going to do a slip stitch knot. And I'm going to grab my first square. I have them all lined up like this, how I want to put them more or less. You don't want to put clear, clear, clear. You want to alternate, like clear, dark, you know, within the colors so it doesn't look that boring. So we're going to do a slip stitch. This is the last round, so it would be the same thing as creating the petal there. So we're going to do a single, a chain. We're going to do one. So this would be 2 double crochet already, okay? So this would be the third. Now, I'm going to come into the corner of my petal here after doing the 3 double crochet, and I'm going to count from the single that we started, 1, 2, on the third space. Actually, I want to do 1 chain, 2 chain. I'm going to do 2, 3 chain. I'm going to count 1, 2, 3. I'm going to close it in with a single. I'm going to walk, I call it the walk. I'm going to walk on my chain back into the circle. So 2 slip stitch, 3 slip stitch with slip stitches. And I'm going to finish my petal here on the corner. So you do 2 double crochet, 1 chain, and a single. So you have your first one attached on there, okay? Now, we're going to go into the next space of the square, single, 2 double crochet, we're going to count 1, 2, and 3 on the third space. So you're having it back with back, okay? So 1, 2, and 3 on the third space. We're going to go in. We're going to finish our paddle. So the chain is on the corner only for now. We're going to do 2 double crochet, 1 chain, and 1 single. So you have only the chain here on the corner. Next space. Single, 1 chain, you create your 2 double crochets. You come into the next paddle, so you're going to count 1, 2 on the third space. You have to go right in the middle, close it in with a single, and do 2 more double crochet, 1 chain, and a single. So you're going to have it this way. Now we're going into the corner, single, 1 chain, 2 double crochet. I'm going to do 1, 2, and 3. See if this works out. You know, you play with the patterns. You go into the next one. 1, 2, and 3. Third space. Close it in with a single. You're going to do the walk backwards. I call it the walk. Slip stitch through the chain, the 3 chain we just did. And close it up with 2 double crochet, 1 chain, and 1 single. So it's going to be like this. And then we finish up the rest of our square, the normal single, 1 chain, 2 double crochet, 3 double crochet, 4 double crochet, 5 double crochet, 1 chain, single. So let me see if I have the right amount. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I have too much. So you have to have the 6 and not more than that, because then it becomes the petals. Some petals will stay thicker than others. So you always have to make sure you have the right amount count on there. Next space, single, 1 chain. So this would be 2 double crochet. I think this is where I went wrong. This is 3, 4, 5, 1 chain, and single is your 6th. And then you come into the corner and you create the same thing again. 2, 3, 4, 5 double crochet, 1 chain, and 1 single would equal another double crochet. So we're going to finish up the circle, the square. So we pretty much reached the end. We'd come on the first single that we did, and we close it in with slip stitch. Cut our thread, pull well into it, turn it to the back. I like to tidy up my loose ends right from the beginning because I don't want to come back to it no more. So once I'm done, so what I'm doing, I went through this the stitches down here, and I'm going to pull my thread. I'm making a knot. I want to make a knot to make sure that nothing ever comes apart, especially when it comes time to do the washing. You know, you're going to wash it up and stuff. So you want to make sure you make that knot into the pattern, hide some more thread so it's nice and secure, and cut the loose ends off. And you have your first granny square attached to your pattern already. So as you can see, okay? And then we go on to the next one. So I have them lined up here because I wanted to alternate the colors. I don't want to have all blues and all greens or all yellows back to back. So I have them all mixed up. Again, you would proceed the same way. Single, 1 chain, 2, 3. Now we're going to add on the corner here because now we're just adding. So I'm going to do 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to count 1, 2 on the 3rd space, back to back, single. I'm going to do the walk through the chain with a slip stitch back into the middle to finish up my paddle. You could have just connected them directly. I don't want to. I want to give it a nice different effect to the tablecloth, so I'm not connecting them together directly. Okay, so we have 2. I got to make sure I pay attention because when I'm talking I forget what I'm doing. So we have the other one created. We go into the next one. Single, 1 chain, 2 double crochet, and now we're going to connect here directly. So it's only on the corners that we're connecting with 3 chain, 1, 2, and 3rd space. So only on corners we're connecting with a 3 chain. But if you want to connect directly, you can go ahead. I'm not connecting directly. I like to give it a nice little effect to it, which will look really nice. Single, 1 chain, 2 double crochet, back to back. We're counting 1, 2 on the 3rd space, which is right in the center of the paddle, and we're coming in to do 2 more double crochet, 1 single, 1 chain. We're going into the corner now. 1 single, 1 chain. My arms are stretched out, so the needle slips through it. So we have the 3 double crochet. Now, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to try to see if I can, because if I do it directly like this, it's going to leave me a gap there. I mean, it's not that bad, but I would like to try something else, see if it works out. Let me see. So after I do the 3 double crochets, I'm just going to try to maneuver something here, I'm going to go where my third space is, and I'm going to do 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to do my 3 chain. I'm going to see if it works, people. You know, if I like it, I'm going to keep it. 1, 2, 3. So I create these things as I go. Okay, so now I'm going to walk back. Whatever my mind brings me to, this is what I do. So I'm going to do the walk back. I'm going to finish my paddle. And then I'm going to stretch and see how it looks. If I like it, I leave it. If not, I'm just going to connect into the next one and take it from there. And this is all about how to create the different patterns, right? You have to put it to the test. So let me see if I like it. Actually, it's not that bad at all, is it? I like it. It doesn't leave me like a huge, gives me that closure there to, instead of having it all open into a big gap. Okay, I like it. So I'm going to leave it at that. Okay, so we've created something new here. Again, we're going to go into the next space, single, 1 chain. Of course, my arms are stretched out. Usually when we crochet, we have it on top of basically our chest, right? So this is hard to do it this way. Okay, so now we're just going to go into the third space on the next one. 1, 2, 3. I know my square is on the way, but 1, 2, 1 chain and 1 single. Whoops. Next space. 1 single, 1 chain, 2 double crochet into the third space, 1, 2, and the third space. Close it in with a single. We're going to do 2 double crochet, 1 chain, and 1 single. Now we're going into the corner. 1 single, 1 chain, 2 double crochet, 1, 2, and 3. And we're going into the third space. So 1, 2, and 3. Close it in with a single. Come back on our first stitch here of the chain, slip stitch. We're doing a walk back and finishing up our paddle. Just like that. So nothing to it, right? See how it looks? Well, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? So we're going to continue doing the same thing. So I'm going to finish up this one, come back with the other one, with the other square, and show you again the attachment here so it can close this gap here. Okay, we're not going to leave it open like that, you know. We're going to close it so we can have all of this closed up. And then the bottom one's what we'll get to it, then we're going to close it here too. Okay, so let me finish my square and then I'll come back and show you again what we're going to do. So we are still in the corner. Just didn't want you to get lost there for a second. So nothing changes. You just keep doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You keep doing your corners in the same way. We're going to come in the first one here, slip stitch, I'm going to make it a knot. I'm going to come through petals here. And I'm going to make it just another knot here if I have enough string. Always leave a little bit of string to make your knot. It's very important. And I'm just going to cut the excess off. Just like that. Oops, making a mess here already, ain't I? Good God. Going into the third one. So I guess I forgot to mention this table runner will be called Table Runner Mosaic because of all the different colors representing every nation, every country, every culture, every race. So we got the single one stitch, 2 double crochet, we're in the corner again, and we start always by this corner here. So you got to do 1, 2, 3. Corners always take chain, okay? 1, 2, 3. You have to remember that when you're applying to the corner, you must do the chain on the corners. And then walk back your 3 chain with a slip stitch into the center and finish creating your petal. 2 double crochet, 1 single, go into the next one with a single, 1 chain, 2 double crochet, and apply directly onto the next petal on the 3rd space. Finish your petal with 2 double crochet, 1 single, and 1 chain, 1 single, and again single, 1 chain. So it's always the same thing, nothing changes. Next petal, 1, 2, 3. So this is where we're going to come in the corner to close up well that corner. I don't want to leave it open. So we're coming to the corner with a single, 1 chain. We're going to do the 2 double crochet. I am going to connect right where we have the middle slip stitch. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3. I'm going into the next petal, 1, 2, 3 with single, and I'm going to come back and finish my petal. Three double crochet into the 3rd space, close it with a single, come back. Now if you need to rewind to see how I did that corner, I'll show you in a second. Then you rewind and you do it, and if you slow down your video, you can see it better. One chain, sorry, 2 double crochet. We're going to do 1, 2, and 3 chain. Corners always have 3 chain. 1, 2, and 3rd space. Close it with a single. Come back, walk. Walk backwards with a slip stitch and finish your your double crochet. One chain and one single. So let's see what it looks like. Very nice. See how nice it looks. Something's not, oh, I see. I forgot to walk back. That's what I did. See, when there's a mistake, you have to. So this is wrong, you see. I did the 3 chain, but I didn't walk back to it. I came directly in. That's why it's always good. So you connect your first one here directly with a slip stitch. Then you do the 3 chain. Now you have to walk back again. 1, 2, and 3. And this is what I didn't do. So then you finish up. So easy to make a mistake, right? That's why it's always good to look ahead of the video, because sometimes little errors can be made and they're fixable on the spot, or if we're too far up, then we need to maneuver them and come up with plan B, which, I mean, everything is fixable. You know, sometimes you have to take down the pattern, depending what type of pattern, if it shows a lot. But some other times you don't have to because it's hidden. What you do is you have to work around it. So we do that again. So we're in the corner. 1, 2, and 3. We need to walk back. 1, 2, and 3. Let's see that again. Okay, that's better. So you see how beautiful it's coming along. It's just gorgeous. So you do your single, 1 chain, you do your 2 double crochet, you hook right on the edge, right, with a single or slip stitch, whatever's comfortable. You do chain 3, you go and grab the next petal, you walk backwards with slip stitch, and you finish your 3 double crochet. That means your 2 double crochet, 1 chain, 1 single, going to the next space, and we lock in directly. Only on the corners we're doing the 3 chain. So we're going to continue on. If you need to rewind, then you do that. I'll do it one more time once I get to the edge here, so you'll know, so there is no confusion on my next square. Okay, so I'm arriving on the corner for my attachment. So we're going to do the single, the 1 chain, do 2 double crochet. Now we're going to attach right on the corner where we have the 3 chain. I'm going to do a slip stitch. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3. I'm going to grab the other petal, 1, 2, back to back, single. Whoops, I have to walk back. I almost forgot to walk back. 1, 2, 2, 3, slip stitch. We're walking back in that chain. If you don't want to leave it a space, you could go all the way here. Like if you don't want to leave that gap in between the petal there in the middle, So you could always come here and do a slip stitch and then just continue your petal. There won't be no gap separation on the middle. I think it's best. There's always something we're always working with, right? We're finding out as we go. So next space, 2, 3. I'm going to attach 1, 2 on the third space, single, coming back, and next space. I'll show you the difference in a minute when you do the slip stitch all the way to the edge. Won't leave that gap in the middle there. So 1, 2, and 3. And then you'll understand what I'm saying. Coming into the corner, we're going to do that 3 chain, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Coming into the next one, so 1, 2, and 3. Close it with single. We're going to walk back. And here, I'm going to show you, in order not to leave that gap, so we're going in with slip stitch on the 3 chains, so that's 3 slip stitches. And right on top of the double crochet here, we're going to slip stitch also. So there is no opening here. Everything stays closed with the paddle. Okay? Two, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And I'll show you what I mean by having it stay closed. So you see that the paddle is very well closed once we came all the way with slip stitch. Now, look at this one here. You see that there's a gap because we didn't come all the way through with slip stitch until the double crochet here. I'm not going to take it down now because it's only one, but I don't want this open space here, this gap here. Okay, I want it to stay closed. You see the difference in here or even here? Okay, so now you know what to do. So the next pattern, next square, you attach it from here and go on, close it in here, do your 3 chain, come back and finish your paddle. Okay, so I'm going to continue mine, you continue yours. And I've made a mistake here, which I have to take out. See, sometimes we just don't pay attention, do we? I seem to forget what I'm doing when I'm talking. Okay, so I need to, which is a good thing that these things happen while I'm on camera. I mean, I could have deleted it and tried, you know, don't show you guys the mistake I did. But I think it's important to show because it makes you understand sometimes where the mistake is and you can spot it, you know. Sometimes it can happen to you too and you're not sure where you went wrong. Okay, so we're in the corner again. So it's a good way that we're in the corner again. So we're going to come here. We're going to go right in where the chain is with the slip stitch. No, I have to do a 3 chain, see? I just talk and I forget. Okay, so we close in with the slip stitch so we can have that closure here. 1, 2, and 3 because we need to go into the next one. And then we need to walk back. So we're going to do the walk. We're going to do 3 slip stitch. Make sure that your thread is not too loose, so you're going to leave a big gaps on on the slip stitch walking back, 2, 3, and we're gonna attach it here where the double crochets are so we can close it up properly. Slip stitch and finish our paddle. And go into the next one and continue on our attachment. I mean, once you get it going, you get the hang of it, then it's much easier. We just started it, so it's only normal that we get confused sometimes. But once you do like couple more, you're good to go. You'll do this like nothing. You want to make sure that when you do connect, you're connecting on both strings on there. You don't just grab one string, because don't forget, this is going to become extremely heavy. And if it's, all the weight on one string, then it's not going to be a good idea. 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to do the walk, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to do 4 slip stitch, grabbing this one here so there is no opening, and we're going to finish our paddle. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Well, that makes more sense, doesn't it? And look how beautiful it's coming out. It's just gorgeous with this beautiful centerpiece like that. Wow. Okay, guys, continue yours, and I'll meet you at the corner of the edge over here. Okay, because sometimes we don't know if it's all going to fit or not properly, so we'll have to maneuver if it doesn't, but I'll meet you there. So I pretty much came to the end edge, and as I explained from the beginning, I didn't know if I was going to get the right amount of squares to fit in. As you can see, that means I would be missing one row here, but I wasn't going to create any longer than that. So we're going to work around it. So what are we going to do? I'm going to do the 3 chain, 1, 2, 3, and I'm still going to come in the corner here and bring it in. I'm still going to do the walk through the chains and finish my paddle, and this way it all combines together, which there's no big issue because there's a paddle missing, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, we work around the pattern. So because there's a few more rows missing to have that that space, so we'll just bring it in here like that. Doesn't change anything at all. And then the next one that's going to go here, let's say here, it's just going to touch right into the corner here. So it's not going to change anything in our pattern, but I wanted to bring it up that it can happen that we could have been missing a row there. So you work with the pattern. It doesn't change any stitch or anything or any design on it. Everything pretty much stays the same. So I just want to make sure you know that. And I thought that would have happened. Normally it does happen to me when I do create certain pieces. And of course I'm not calculating how many stitches to have the squares fit in. So I figured it would probably happen. But then again, I was prepared to just pretty much get it fixed. Okay, so it will stay like that, and the next row we're going to have here. We're just going to touch it on here. It's going to make still the same design, not change anything. Okay, so I'm going to continue to finish this, and then I'll come back to that corner design there, the square, and you'll see how I'll fit it in.